Everybody, so we are going live again for yet again another podcast episode with my incredible friend Mac Atram. So I'm just going to wait for Mac to come over and he's going to share his wonderful words of wisdom with everybody today. So I cannot wait for this episode. So thank you everybody for joining us and let's get this episode underway. Here he is. Bear with us. Here he is.
Good
Mac, my
stuff.
friend.
How are you doing? Good to see you again, Ryan. Which part of the world are you in?
Mac, I'm in Colombia right now. It's my favourite country in the whole world. So yeah, I'm back in Colombia, my friend.
Very nice, very nice. Good for you again, Mr. Entrepreneur, Mr. Adventurer, living life to the fullest, which is great.
Well, look, we're going to be talking about this today because I know you're a guy that appreciates people living their life to the fullest as well, and you're someone who helps people do that. So Mac, let's just get straight into it, my friend. We're here now. Let's just go for it. So I want to ask you, Mac, to begin with. It's quite a big question, but let's just uncover it now. So I just want to ask you if you can tell, say, the audience today a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and just talk about, say, growing up as a younger adult and what were some of the challenges along the way to get you to the place where you are today.
Awesome. Thank you. Great question there. Let me frame it up. So as a young adult, so what do I do now? So for the past, and I've been an entrepreneur for over 23 years now. And as an entrepreneur, I've created businesses, I've sold businesses, and for the past 18 years, I've trained and coached over 200,000 people in more than 50 countries that I've visited on three specific things. One is how to grow a more sustainable business. And so you can be free from your business and make money. So how do you set that up? How do you scale the business? Two is how do you create wealth? Wealth is what you have when you're not working every day for money. How can you create a situation where you can enjoy your life, you're totally free, you've created wealth, and still serve other people? And third thing is personal development. How do you become and live your full human potential? How do you do that? So for the last 18 years, I've been doing that. So I've shared the stage with some amazing people like Anthony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Nick Vujicic, Gary Vee, lots of these people. So I love doing that. So I'm an author of 4 best-selling books, all available on Amazon on those 3 areas: wealth creation. I've got a book called The Millionaire Moment, got a business book called Face It and Fix It, and a couple of personal development books. And I've got 2 other books coming up. I've won many awards over the last 15 years as a trainer, as a coach, executive coach of the #1 executive coach in the UK, top trainer in the UK, global man, many awards. So I really appreciate all that. So that gives you a little flavor of who I am, what I've been doing. Now, to answer your question, shall I go into that now?
Please do, yeah, please do. Because I was going to say, Mac, like all of these amazing things that you've achieved over the years, surely it didn't come a nice, smooth, plain sailing path to the success of where you're at today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely wasn't a smooth path. So when you say my early years, so in my 20s, I went on the same old train that people are fed: go to school, study hard, get good grades, go to university, graduate and find a good secure job. And we know nowadays there's no such thing, right? So I fell into that trap, not knowing what I didn't know, and I worked I was taken on by a large retail company, and I worked with them as a took me on as a graduate management trainee. So I was part of their management team, and for 7 years they looked after me. I was climbing that ladder, as it were, and after 7 years, I felt something. I don't feel fulfilled here. Is this it? And so I remember searching for other jobs, and I joined another company, and I lasted 2 years there, in the sense that I had that feeling, that niggly feeling again. It's like, is this it to life? By that time, I'm probably I'm around in my mid-20s, going towards my late 20s now. And then I remember leaving that and joining another company, and I lasted 1 year there. And I remember exactly what happened. My manager, or my regional manager, was a bit of a I don't want to say it here, but it's someone I didn't get on with. So he didn't make the work easy. It was, I thought I was getting frustrated, and I suddenly realized something, Ryan. I think it can't be the companies. I've changed companies twice. It's not a companies, it must be me. So I thought, okay, what if I just start my own business? So I had this idea of start a little computer company. And yeah, so I did that, started recruiting staff, started building that. Hey, by the way, when I quit my job, it was because sometimes something needs to happen as a catalyst for you to make a change. And I remember this manager being a bit of a whatever he is. And the next day we had a bit of an argument, disagreement. He thought he was right and whatever. And the next day I came in and I resigned, right? And I'd already been going through my own head and through some research in terms of what am I going to do? Because I don't feel fulfilled here. And when I resigned, he goes, "Okay, good luck. You're not gonna succeed in whatever business you think you're gonna." That's the kind of person he was. So all the encouragement to go and start my business, it was like nothing was there. Started this business, and what happened was, now it's all down to me. I've got to find customers. I've got to, as an entrepreneur. And so I started doing that, working. I ended up working 18, ridiculously longer hours than I was working when I was working for someone else, because that's what I'd done. I'd created another job for myself, and the pressure was piling on. And 3 years into it, I had two business partners who were working with me, and they cheated on the business and then disappeared, left me in a hole where now I didn't realize how much financial siphoning money they were taking out of the business, and my eyes weren't open to it. So now I'm borrowing money on credit cards, on loans, and I've got to figure out how to pay these creditors back. So I'm over 100 grand in debt, and I'm struggling. And at that time now, my wife was pregnant with our second child. So it's another journey that it was a mess. It took its toll on me, and my health started deteriorating. And I knew there had to be another way. I had to do something differently. So that was, very quickly in my 20s, that was it. And then I started my first business when I was 30. Yeah, 30.
Wow, Mac, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that with us, my friend. And what an amazing and exciting journey you've been on. Like, I'm sure it was full of ups and downs. It sounds to me like a big roller coaster ride. There was a few things that you mentioned there to begin with, especially about the job that you was in. You knew something deep down inside of you wasn't quite right. Like, I like to say it's like your soul. Like, you cannot lie to your soul. The soul does not lie, nor can it be lied
Yeah,
to. And like so many of us, me included, for over a decade, was working in a job where like I hated it. I didn't enjoy getting up out of bed to go to this place just to try and work my arse off every day to earn a wage to then go and do it all again tomorrow. And it's just this cycle that we all sort of get trapped
yeah,
in. But then you mentioned the word, like, you knew that you had to take the leap of faith to create your own business for yourself, but to do it in the service of others. And this is where, say, true wealth comes from. And you mentioned the word as well about being able to earn money while you're not even there. So I think for many young adults, especially, say, around my age range, around the 30-year-old sort of age bracket, many people say they want this financial freedom, or they want to be able to earn money without putting the work in. But that doesn't come
no,
overnight. I believe many people get blinded by this shit that they see on, say, Instagram, social media, where they're being fed these adverts, for instance, saying that they can take a week and next thing you know, they're earning passive income where they never have to work. Like, this is not true.
that's
So
right.
I love to talk around that sort of thing, about what you talk about, the three areas which you teach in. Go a bit deeper on that for
Sure.
anybody that's listening now, Mac, and they they potentially want to take that leap of faith to then in the future create something like similar that you've done possibly.
Yeah.
What are the main sort of steps that someone needs to take in order to get to a place where they would like to go in the future,
So,
rather than being, say, stuck in the current situation where they're currently at?
great question. Great question there, Ryan, because the starting point is you've got to ask yourself this question. What do I want? What do I want and who do I want to be? Now, once you're clear on what is it you really want in your life and who's it you want to be, write that down. And now you've got a destination you're aiming for, right? So for me, at the time when I quit my job, I think I was just getting married. I was just being married, and I was just newly married that year. But I wanted, because we we're going to start a family, and I didn't want to be working all these hours for someone else. I wanted to be there for my new child and for my wife. And the irony was, I'd made so many mistakes in my first business that I was working even more hours. But we'll come back to that in a moment. So once you know what you want, know that there are going to be challenges and obstacles on the way. And the people who succeed are the people who stick to that vision that they have for their life. The people who fail is they just trying at it. They don't really want it. So when you're very clear on what you want, and so for me, I was looking for financial freedom. I was looking for something that I was looking to take destiny into my own hands, really, to design the life that I really wanted to create, that I wanted for myself. And so let me go deep into the lessons that I learned and the reason why I wrote these books. So I wrote a book called The Millionaire Moment. And this was a moment where, actually, before I go into that, once you've decided what you want, there's going to be obstacles. And for me, I wanted to create a business that eventually that I was doing whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And it didn't transpire as that. Within the first few years, I'm working 18 hours a day, 19 hours a day, struggling. My wife is pregnant with our second child. I'm hardly around. And we're having so many arguments. And my business partners have cheated on the business. I'm over 100 grand in debt. I've got to figure a way out of this. And it wasn't a smooth ride. But what happened was I went on a journey of self-discovery to say, how do I fix this? And I started reading books, going to workshops, seminars, and eventually I fixed it. In less than 2 years, I was able to fix that business and sell that business. My wife and I got involved in building real estate property. So we invest in real estate property. We develop and build houses and apartments here in the UK. So we went down that line, and they created financial freedom for us, which is what I was looking for all along anyway. So for those people who are young, thinking, look, I want to take life into my own hands. I want to create some kind of financial freedom and some wealth. And wealth is not just the money that's coming into you, but wealth is very much what you do, Ryan. You know, you can be wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want. You've got money coming. You're not worried about money. You've set up an infrastructure. You've set up something that pays you. You're doing things on your terms. And, you know, you're taking care of your health. You're enjoying the sunshine. You're enjoying the sea. You're enjoying nature. You're enjoying what people would love to do, but don't have the bravery, the courage to do it. Although they can, if they set certain milestones and say, okay, next 2 years, next 3 years, I'm going to put these in order so I can have this in my vision. So I can start living like that. And that's what my wife and I did. And so, so today we're totally financially free. We're totally abundance, lots of abundance of money, all that kind of stuff, because we set a vision. And then when we started on that journey, it was tough at the beginning. I think you alluded to that. But once we figured it out, like Malcolm Gladwell says, if you want to master anything, it's going to take at least 10,000 hours. I don't know how true that is, but I totally agree. Because the same as in my martial arts, I've been practicing martial arts for over 40 years now. Again, I'm still trying to master it after 40 years. I'm nowhere near it, right? People give up after 1 year of a certain sport. Over 40 years I've been sticking at it. So for I've been married for 23 years. Over 3 years I've been trying to master marriage. It's not easy, all right? Same as in business. Over 23 years, I've been mastering business. I didn't give up and go to another job. Mastery, mastery, mastery. So people need to understand, once you set that goal, that vision, now you're going to put your time, energy, and attention on it to master it until it delivers to you exactly what you're looking for.
Wow, that was incredible, my friend. And
Mm.
what really stood out to me there was when you just mentioned about your martial arts. Like I know you're a big fan of martial arts, and you're always practicing. Like you say, you've been doing this for 40 years. Like who would stick at something like that? Like you need to first have it in your mind. Like I am going to be a lifelong learner of whatever this is. And I think in life in general, we need to focus on the progress and becoming the very best version at something, whatever it is. And I'm talking just life in general.
Mm.
Like no one should ever aim to be perfect at someone, because perfection doesn't exist.
True.
It's progress equals no practice equals progress, and eventually equals permanent. Like so many people think that they need to be perfect at something, so it puts them off from actually taking the first step to even get on that pathway. So just know in life, like it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but it's what we do consistently. And it's about showing up every single day. And you mentioned there, man, like people, they want this life of abundance, but they start out for maybe 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then they give up. And for me, when I coach people, I believe people only really truly give up on things is when it doesn't align with what they truly want. So they first need to really get precise on exactly what it is that they truly want, not just something that they would like. Like
No.
everyone wants a lot of money. Everyone wants to say be sat on the beach drinking pina coladas. Of course they do. But what do you truly want?
Mm.
And now I want to talk about something that you mentioned a moment ago, which is about being in the service of other people. Because Tony Robbins, I believe, says it, like the true meaning to living is giving. Like when you can help other people. And I believe Tony Robbins said this other quote actually, and it says, gaining like a lot of money, becoming financially free or rich or wealthy, but without the fulfillment is the ultimate fail.
Absolutely.
Like so many
I
people
agree
are
with that.
chasing money, but I believe like don't focus on the money, but focus on the mission. Focus on serving other people, and money will naturally come as a byproduct of the value and the service that you provided to the universe. So, Mac, just now I want to talk to you about, say, being multiple business owner, coaching many people in the past and currently still now. How does someone go out there to create, say, a business or create, say, financial freedom or wealth or even just fulfillment, success, for instance, you could say, in the service of somebody else?
Excellent question. Excellent question. And I like the way you set that question up, and because it triggered my mind on something that I didn't say earlier on, which fits very nicely here. When I was broken, I was struck 100 grand in debt. You know, there came a point when I had a breakdown in my car because I was sitting, but the car I'd parked in this shopping center car park and just going through this, thinking that I'm such a failure, that I'm at this point where I'm broke and I'm struggling. Nothing seems to be working. I keep thinking I'm a failure, and I was looking for a way out, and I prayed and prayed and just thinking, I got to find this way out. And one of the things that came to my mind is go and study it, go to these workshops, go and figure out what it is you really want, and then live that. And when I created a situation where I fixed that business because I looked for the right mentors and coaches, and I sold that business, I timed my hands, and we started investing in real estate property. Things worked out very well for us, and we had so much money coming in. Neither my wife and I ever had to work again, and it's been like that for years since, you know, when I go for over 18 years now. And when I had a lot of time in my hands and money wasn't an issue, I remember sitting down and figuring out, okay, so where do I go with this now? What am I going to do with my life? Yeah, business is great. I love business. I was consulting and coaching people, but I wrote down what I believe my mission was, because money wasn't an issue. And I wrote down my mission is to inspire, educate, and empower people to live a life of joy, courage, passion, and purpose. And with that mission, I said to myself, okay, and this is all based on workshops that I'd done and things that people have talked about in books. And I created a vision. I had to take time out. I started visualizing what does life look like if I'm living this mission? What am I doing? Where am I doing it? And this is a time when I'm not even a speaker. I'm not even a trainer. I'm not even a coach. I'm just a computer guy. I had a computer company. And when that came to me, it was in service of others, exactly as you said. And I could see my vision on stage, talking to people, helping them to overcome their obstacles, their challenges, their adversities, helping them to have a smile on their face, living joyfully. I could see that. And I could see writing books. I could see that. I could see traveling around the world with my family. And I could see. And so this is back in 2006 time. I wasn't doing it yet, and I just started to do it. But all of that has come to fruition because I've seen exactly what I wanted, where I wanted to live, what kind of cars I wanted. I could see it all, and I've had it all. The Ferrari, I've had the big, I've had it all, and I feel very blessed. But it starts from knowing who you are, knowing why you are here on this planet. So knowing who you are, I call that self-awareness. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what gives me a buzz. This really tests me. This kind of people I like to hang out with. Not these people, because it really affects my mental health. Knowing who you are, Secondly, knowing why you are here. Why are you on this planet? You're breathing on this planet. Are you supposed to be stuck in an office, in a cubicle, just answering the phone and doing this? Is that really why you're on this planet? Whilst there's sunshine, while there's all these beautiful things to be enjoyed. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. But if you've done that for a period of time and you know there's inside of you something bigger and better to be done, then start putting your attention on that. So for me, it was mission. Why am I here? Answering that question. Why am I here? So you could be, so if you're struggling, why am I here? Why am I here? Think about all your skills, the natural abilities that you have that you could be using in service of other people. That'll give you a clue. You know, some people are good at making people laugh. Maybe you're supposed to be a comedian, but you're stuck in an office doing this. Right? Maybe you love nature and you love exploring, love traveling. You know all about the plants, the seas, the fish, and all this. Maybe you're supposed to be doing blogs or vlogs or YouTube videos, educating people about the beauty that you see. I don't know, but you've got to figure it out. Why am I here? And then the third thing is, if I'm living the way I'm supposed to be living, what will it look like? What does it look like in my vision? And if your mind can't see it, you can't bring it to reality. So you've got to visualize it and see it. Even if you see a glimpse of it, write it down, sketch it, draw it, whatever, and start moving towards that. So for me, it was those three key things that got me to living the life I'm doing now. And then every year setting the goals that I need to set in order to live that vision and stay within that mission.
Incredible, my friend. And visualization is such a powerful tool and it's so underrated. Like, many people that are not, say, too familiar with it, they might say, oh, this is woo woo, or you know, you hear this many times, but you look at any successful person, the things that they have achieved, I'm telling you, almost 10 out of 10 of them, or probably 10 out of 10 of the most successful people that you'll ever meet or hear about, have always seen that vision in the future first. Like, every single thing that has ever been created has been created twice. And that's once in the mind and once in reality. So you first need to see it here before you can hold it and have it in front of you. And this starts by, say, journaling. It starts by meditating. It starts by having a vision board. It starts by understanding what it is that you truly want. And then I'd say to all of my clients, like, you need to see this within your own mind every single day without fail. It doesn't mean you need to sit there for hours on end just thinking about, oh, I'm going to wish my dream life. No, but just see it. Wake up in the morning, be grateful for what you have, and be excited for what you're getting. Excuse me. I say that people need to be positively dissatisfied, being grateful for what you currently have, but being excited for where you're going and what you're going to receive on that journey. So, Mac, I want to talk about now, because you mentioned one thing there, and it really stood out to me again, which was the power of your surroundings. So I want to talk about, say, the people that say you potentially have around you in this moment. I'm talking anyone that's listening is thinking, I'm not too sure if these people are on the same path as me or heading in the same direction. So I want to talk about, say, friends, family members, but I also want to talk about the power of, say, mentorship, because I'm sure, like you, me, and many people that want to, say, move to where it is that they want to go, if they're going to get a guide, they're going to get there a lot quicker and they're going to learn the tools. So I want to talk about surroundings, friends, family, and about the power of mentorship too.
Awesome. Great question. So the people you have around you in your life, and I'm going to say this very clearly because I teach thousands of people this principle. You've got to look at the people surrounding you and the people in your immediate life. Are they helping you or are they hurting you? These very specific questions. Are they helping you? Or are they hurting you? So if you have a big goal and big ambitions, and the people around you saying, well, why bother doing that? You can't do that. Now, are they helping you? Are they hurting you? In other words, if they say you can't do it, but within yourself, you think, well, I'd like to do it. I think I can do it. Then now they're hurting you because, yes, they are trying to protect you. They don't want you to fall over. But just as a baby has to fall over many times before it learns to walk, whatever ambition you have, guess what? You are going to fall over many times before you learn to walk in that endeavor. So no, that's going to happen. So the people around you, are they helping you? Or are they hurting you? And same as if you're surrounded with naysayers, if you're surrounded with broke people, you're going to be broke. If you're surrounded with negative people, you're going to be negative. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly worried, you are going to be worried and stressed. So figure out, who do I need to surround myself with? I don't have to ignore my family, but I'm going to spend less time with them, which is what I did. And then focus on the people who will get you and help you get where you want to go to. So sometimes it's just a new bunch of friends that you may meet at a seminar or at a workshop. And like we met and became friends because we met at a conference or something, right? And we've met several times at different conferences and we stayed in touch and talked, right? I'd rather have you in my environment than the people, because you're positive, you've got a great outlook, you're a go-getter, you're going. Whereas there's people saying, oh, woe is me, I can't do this, I can't do that. Get some help. And that takes me to my second point, which is, if you could figure out and you could be where you want in your life right now, you would have figured it out already. And if you haven't figured it out, it's best to get a coach or a mentor who can help you and assist you and hold your hand and kick your butt lovingly, supportingly, but really say, hey, you said you want this. What's happened? All right, let's work on it. All right. So they're holding you accountable and supporting you. And when you get there, look back and think, oh, it's because of this. And so the people around you are either helping you or hurting you. And some people as well, when I say that, some people don't understand. For example, I had a client who the husband was always doing stuff for her. So she expected that as a client, I'm going to do stuff for her. I said, I'm not here to baby you. You've got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, create that business you want, but I'm going to support you in that endeavor. Now, let me ask you a question. For years, where her husband was just supporting her financially, anything she wanted to get, her husband figured it all out for her. Was the husband, in terms of her own personal growth, her own personal potential, was a husband helping her or hurting her? And when I say hurting, people think physical, mental abuse. No, but the point is that if you are not allowing that person to experience their own life, you're not allowing them to experience the adversities and the challenges that will happen, then you may be holding them back because they're not stepping into their full potential. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but certainly knowing that the people around you, ask yourself, just list them all. Is this person helping me or holding me back? Are they helping me or trying to put me down? Are they helping me, or are they getting me to a place I've got mental, mind, mental issues or whatever? Are they helping me, or are they giving me emotional problems? So I just wanted to throw that in there because it's a very, very key question.
Yeah, Mac, I think that's so powerful, my friend, and super great questions to ask yourself when you're in those situations, because people can either help you grow or the opposite, they're going to pull you back. It's like the crabs in the bucket, right? We've all heard that story, and it's the same. And you know, there's a question that I like to ask with any situation, whether it's friends, families, whether it's you going out somewhere, you buying something, whatever it is. Ask yourself this one question. Is doing this, whatever this may be, is doing this getting me closer to or further away from my goal? So whether it's spending time with that person, going to that concert, going to the club, going to the bar, going to that restaurant, going to that country, whatever it is this going to get me closer to or further away from my goal?
Mm.
And if it's going to get you further away from it, don't do it. I mean, sometimes in life, it's a bit like a game of chess. Like you need to take steps backwards in order to take greater steps forwards. But if you're looking at something, it's going to affect your mental health, your mindset, your health and well-being. You need to start making moves in the opposite direction, because it's going to pull you back, and it's going to hold you back from achieving your dreams in the future.
Exactly what we said earlier on in the conversation, that become self-aware. Who are you? What do you want? Otherwise, you're just following the bagpipe, the Pied Piper, and you're just following for the sake of following. But can you, or will you be happy reaching the old age of 80, 90, 100, maybe sitting there on your rocking chair, right? And start thinking about all the life that had gone. And did you live it fully? Did you go for it, or did you make excuses as to why you can't? Because it's easy to make an excuse why I can't, because it's hard work to actually go for what you really want, because you're breaking the mold, you're breaking the norms, you're breaking the things that people would be scared of doing. But you've got to do you, boo, as they say in America. You, right? Do you. What's right for you? And the naysayers will always be there. It doesn't matter how far you move forward. So get mentors around you who will then support you or coach you the right way to actually get what you want. And here's what I found as well. Here's what I found, Ryan. Once you get to where you want to be on that mountaintop, wherever it is, people look at you and start trying to say, Ryan, how did you get? What I saw you on Instagram. How you? I see you on holiday all the time. I see you're just having fun all the time. How did you get there? Tell me, how did you get there? Now they're trying to figure it out, right? But they haven't changed themselves, so they can't have that until they become self-aware that that's who they need to be, and that's what they want.
Yeah, man. Like you mentioned something that triggered me and sparked me, and something that I literally live by. Like not getting to the end of your life on that rocking chair as an old man, as an old woman, and just having regret, because regret is something that you're going to take to the tomb. Like you can either give it all you got, or you can go with all you got, and it's down to you and you alone to decide if you're going to live, say, life full out and go for it.
Yeah.
Or the other option is to stay stuck inside your little comfort zone and not do anything, and just let, say, society and the media and other people decide what your life's going to look like. Like, that's not a way to live life. Like, I don't want to get to the end of my life not going for that. Like, I never want to take my greatness to the grave, man. And something that really stood out to me again, and you mentioned it a moment ago, is about knowing exactly who you are. Like, you need to create the very best future version of yourself within your own mind first. Like, what do they look like? What habits do they have? What clothes do they wear? What's their haircut? What car do they drive? What do they do in the morning when they first wake up? Like, you need to know exactly who that future best version of you is, and then you need to lean on them for guidance, and they're going to help drag you up to that place where they're already at, because they're already in the future. They're the best version of you.
Absolutely.
So if you look at that person and they wake up every day, they're meditating, they're eating healthy, they're exercising, for instance, and you're sat there feeling shit, you're talking shit, you're eating shit, you're never going to evolve into that person in the future. You need to know who that is, and they're going to guide you along the way. And not only them, but like you mentioned, mentors, your surroundings, because your surroundings do shape you. Proximity is power. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. 5 millionaires, you're going to become the 6th. 5 alcoholics, you're going to become the 6th. Like, we've heard this stuff all before. but not many people put it into practice. Like common sense is not common practice at all. So you need to first know who it is that you want to become, and then start evolving and doing the action steps and showing up as that person already. Like start taking the steps that that person takes on a daily basis. Like you need to show up as that person. So Matt, there's one more question that I want to ask you now about challenges. So like you mentioned it before about many different challenges, whether it's say business partners that say shit on you, for instance, whether it was, this is another challenge, like you found yourself in this position where you got a lot going on with the business, working all the hours under the sun, but then you've got your wife and you've got kids coming and all this stuff's happening at one time. Like there's never really a good time for anything. So for anybody listening, from your own experience and from the lessons that you've learned along the way, when someone feels like they've got everything on top, they feel like it's not a good time to do this, they should wait a little bit longer, they can't do it now because of this, because of that. They're talking themselves out of all these things and they think everything's coming down and they just end up sort of procrastinating and staying stuck. What 1, 2, 3 sort of tips could you give someone to get the ball rolling and get the momentum going?
Great question. If you're in that funk, if you're stuck like that and you have the challenge. So for me, it was a time, the big challenge with me was when I found myself over 100 grand in debt, when I found myself just struggling, when I found my wife was pregnant with our second child, and a few years had gone by, I had hardly seen much of our first child, and now this child's coming on board, and what am I going to continue living this way? It was actually easier and better when I was in a job, although I didn't want to be there anymore. And so know that challenges will come, and when it comes, here are 3 things you can do. One is you can't figure it out on your own. You can start the process, but it's easier and better to talk to someone. So get yourself a coach or a mentor or an advisor and talk it through with someone else, or go to a workshop or read some books. Some of my mentors I've never met, but I've read their books and they told me do this. So I've gone and done it. So notice the mind that created my situation at that time, I came to realize that it's not the same mind that will take me out of my situation of financial failure and challenges and business challenges and all this kind of stuff. So I had to change my mindset, number 1. So find someone who can help you. So number 2, start changing your mindset towards who it is you want to become or what is it you want to have. And number 3, stay accountable and be responsible for that thing you said you want. And so this is a challenge for most people, staying accountable and responsible. And this is why a coach or a mentor, a coach specifically, rather than a mentor, will help you and ask you and hold you accountable and keep checking on the numbers or checking on the thing that you said you're going to do and support you in the right way. So we talked about environment. For me, a coach is part of your environment, someone who can look you in the eye and someone you can confide in without all the BS, knowing that they're on your side. They want you to bat to win, right? So the coach helping you to change your mindset and holding you accountable towards a goal that you want.
Powerful, my friend. Super powerful. And so many people think that they can do it alone, and look, I hold my hands up. I was one of those people. I first start out on my path of purpose, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, do this, do this. 1 year goes by, and I'm like maybe 1 or 2 steps forwards. It was good. Obviously, I wasn't in the same place, but when you pay for mentorship, when you pay for coaching, you're literally paying for accountability, and you're paying for speed. And like so many people think, for instance, I'm going to waste my money by doing that. Like you never waste money investing in yourself.
No.
The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself.
Absolutely.
And I say this before, like I remember, I think it's like £350 I paid for an online course the very first time I invested to myself. That for me was a lot of money at the time. And I was just like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I remember I paid the money, like my heart just sunk, and I'm like, I'll just pay £350 for a course online. Like, what is this? I've done this course. Wow. It just flipped my mindset. I got into a Facebook group with other like-minded people that money, I never think about the money again, because I know every single time that I invest in myself, whether it's 100, 1,000, 10,000 pounds, every single time that you invest into yourself, you upgrade your mindset, you upgrade your situation, you upgrade your life. And no amount of money could pay for progress, you know. Like,
Absolutely.
and Tony Robbins, again, he said it's progress that equals happiness. And I
Mm,
found that to be true. Like, every time that you upgrade your life, you're happy. You tell everyone about it. I've achieved this, I've done that, I've got this. Like, when you're going downhill, how many people run around telling people, oh yeah, I've just lost my job, I've just lost my partner,
no,
I've got no money. Like, you don't go and boast about it, no, but you feel happy when you're progressing.
ex-
So just know, everyone that's listening now, it's progress that equals happiness. Pay for speed, pay for mentorship, because it's going to get you to where you want to be a lot quicker. So,
definitely.
so Mac, just as we bring this to an end now, I have 5 quick questions that I want to blast through. So if you're happy to go ahead, we're going to go ahead with the first question.
But fire away, fire away.
Mac, thank you so much. So the first question is, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received, and why?
Wow. Okay. We've mentioned Anthony Robbins a few times, and the first time I went to his UPW, it just blew my mind, because there's me feeling sorry for myself, thinking I'm stuck, and like you, paid 500 quid to go to this UPW, and my friends thought, you're mad, 500 pounds, and that weekend changed my life 20 years ago. Now, the one thing he said, which has always stuck with me, is he said, in your moment of decision, your destiny is shaped. What? What are you saying? I've got to, with all this stuff I've got going on, I've just got to make a decision. And when I make my decision, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go where I need to go. Are you saying don't sit in paralysis? Are you saying don't procrastinate? Are you saying don't wait? Oh, okay. Okay. I can't make a decision now. Tony said. So it's helped me every single time when I've got things going on and doesn't seem okay. I'm going to make a decision. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Maybe I'll run it by someone. I'll run it by my coach or men, and then I'm going for it. Well, let's see what happens. And that's always served me. That's why I like that.
You know, like, that really, it literally made my body tingle then when you said it, you know, like, because the reason I say this is because that quote that you mentioned, Tony Robbins, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is
Mm,
shaped. So for me, I was a car mechanic for way over a decade, for 13 years, fixing cars. I'd done it for a couple of years. It was okay, just out of school.
yeah.
But then it was my soul, like we spoke about at the beginning. My soul was screaming, get the
Mm,
fuck out now. Get out. This isn't for you. This isn't your pathway. But I
mm,
chose, out of fear, out of procrastination, I chose to stay put in that place for over a decade,
wow.
you know? And then when COVID come around, that was the time that I flipped my life up. And I jumped on a call with someone, AJ Gupta, my friend.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, AJ Gupta jumped on a call with me. And it was one of my first ever Zooms. Like, I'd never done a Zoom call in my life. Jumped on a call with AJ. He heard my story on an app called Clubhouse. And he's like, Ryan, I want to hear you again. So I spoke to him about my story, my life, my journey. And he went, what are you going to do about it? And I went, I'm going to travel the world next year. To do what? I said, I'd just love to travel the world. He went, that is so selfish. And he's like, there's so many people out there that are waiting to hear your words, and they're
Mm,
literally contemplating suicide or giving
mm,
up completely on their
mm,
lives. They need to hear your journey as proof to say that it's possible for them too. So he went, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I'm going to travel the world and I can teach people this along the way.
right.
When are you going to do it? I went, AJ, I don't know. No, when are you going to do
That's
it? Make a
the,
decision.
mm,
And I was like, I don't know. And he went, listen, Ryan, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And I just went, oh my God. So he went, so you're going to make a decision? I was like, yeah, I'll do it now then. And he's like, okay, come back to me next Friday. This was 1 week. Come back to me next Friday and tell me that you've quit your job. Do you agree? And I went, I agree. I literally, 13 years I've been in that career. I went
mm,
in the week after and I said to my boss, I quit. And I'm not joking,
wow.
Matt. Like, I've not looked back since. I've not looked back and gone, that was the worst decision, you know? For me, that the job was okay, it was good, it was safe, secure, all that stuff that society says. It was bringing in an income for me to be able to, say, afford a mortgage, to go on to work, to do the same old stuff on repeat. It done that, but that life wasn't serving me and it wasn't my true life. I had
Yeah.
to make the decision to get out of that. So that piece of advice that you mentioned there, for me, it's one of the best pieces of advice as well, because when you make a decision in life, anyone listening now, you make a decision, there is no wrong choice. There is no wrong decision, because you're going to get results, and results are what's going to give you confidence. It's going to give you courage to then make more decisions, to then achieve more results. And when you're making results, when you're achieving results, that's what's going to allow you to progress in your life. Because one or two results you're going to get. You're going to get what you don't want, or you're going to get what you do want. You get what you do want, you make sort of quite a big step closer to the next step. You get what you don't want, you're going to learn from that step to then advance and progress anyway. So there is no wrong decision in life. So you need to make decisions, because if not, you're going to sit on the fence. And I say, if anyone sits on the fence in life and procrastinates, you're going to get a nail up your ass, and you're going to be stuck on that fence for the rest of your life. So you need to make decisions, and you need to start progressing. So Mac, I want to say thank you so much for that answer, my friend, because it's such an important quote. That quote, it's in your moments of decisions that your destiny is shaped.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Next question, Mac, is on the flip side to that, what is the worst piece of advice that you have ever received and acted on, and what was the result?
Oof. Every I'm very open-minded, and every advice that I get, I look at it. Will this serve me? So I'm fine, and I'll take action if it serves me. So, and some will work, some I haven't. And you know, I can go back over, you know, over a decade, over 10 years, where, you know, some of the social media gurus or the internet gurus saying, do it this way for marketing, and it, you know, and some of it they just copied from someone else. It wasn't the true source. But I want to come away from that for a moment. But when there's two incidences critical in my life. When I was at school, and so as a child in high school, one of the teachers said, a few of the teachers said to me, "You'll be a failure in life," right? And when I quit my job, my last job, when I quit it, and I handed my resignation in, and my boss said, "You go ahead, you're going to fail in that business anyway, so you go ahead." So every time people have said that, seems like it's triggered me to go and just get it done. And so I could be bitter about it. I could say, "Hey, I'm grateful they said that, because I know within me I'm not a failure, and I've gone ahead and created plenty of success." So what's the worst piece of advice? You're going to be a failure. How does my mind tune to it? I'm going to prove you wrong. And proving is a form of fear. But now I just say, now that's their reality. It's not mine. And I just go ahead and do what I need to do.
Yeah, man. Like you mentioned there, like you can become bitter about it, or on the flip side, you can become better. Like that's the options there. You become bitter or better.
Yeah,
And for you, you chose to become better. You chose to advance and progress in your life to achieve what you've done now. Like, you know, I say to anyone listening, like, let your haters be your motivators. Like, because
yeah,
there's going to be so many people out there that's going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, never let someone who was either too scared to go after or who gave up on their dreams talk you out of pursuing and achieving yours. Like, this is your life, and it's down to you and you alone to decide who it is that you're going to become, the amount of effort that you're going to apply, and what you're going to actually achieve in your life. Because there's so many people out there that are literally going to decide your destiny. Like, never let someone else decide, design, determine, or dictate your destiny, because you have one life to go all out and achieve anything and everything. But are you going to let the words of someone else that's maybe just living a life that they hate say, no, you can't do it? And then you just believe them. Like, no, never let someone else do that. So, Mac, I'm so grateful for you sharing that with us, because it's so important not to listen to the people. And this, again, goes back to the surroundings. Like, if people are telling that you can't do something, move away from them, get away from them, because they're going to hinder you. They're going to hold you back. And it's going to be like a 10-ton weight on your back whilst climbing your own ladder of life, you know? So,
absolutely.
Mac, next question, my friend, is, because I'm a big believer about learning, progressing, you know, but I'm also an even bigger believer actually in unlearning the stuff, because we get programmed a lot going through childhood, friends, family, social media, society, etc. So what was one of the main things that you had to say unlearn whilst on your, say, success journey?
Good question. One of the big things I had to unlearn was the programming that society, TV, school, the education system, the traditional educational system was pushing out there. So, for example, I never ever thought, I'd have wealth, multi-millions and all this kind of stuff. But I had to unlearn all of that based on what church, based on what society was saying. For example, when I did some exercises and things like the Millionaire Mind Intensive, for example, some of those exercises, the things that came out was rich people are evil. Are they really that evil? Really? Rich people are greedy, so if those programming is very subconscious at a very subliminal level, it's like on television, every time they talked about a wealthy person, it was in a negative light, like they've done this or they cheated this, now they're in jail. So we're programmed in a way that, oh, okay, there's another one, here's another one, here's another one. Money doesn't grow on trees. Clearly it doesn't grow on trees, but that kind of program is, okay, where does money come from then, So I had to unlearn a lot of stuff around money because I wasn't a very good money manager at the time, and in order to create the kind of situation I've created. So it was unlearning about the programming that I've had around success, around money, around people, in order to move forward.
Super powerful, yes, again, Mac, because like you mentioned, news and social media specifically, really it thrives on saying negativity, right? Like negative
Yeah.
news about someone or something or this or that. So if you are someone who watches the television, the news, focuses on social media and takes all that crap for gospel, like really you need to really flip your mindset and start consuming other things. Like get out in nature and start surrounding yourself with other people, because literally they've lured you in like on a reel, right? And
And
you're just going to focus on that. Like in life, what you focus on expands. So if you're constantly focused on what's gone wrong in the world, what's happened, there's this war, there's that war, someone done this, someone done that. Like, look, I know these things are happening. I'm not saying they're not, but if you're focused on that, you're going to be so consumed by it and overwhelmed by it. You're not going to be able to think straight. You're not going to be able to think clear and become positive, because like positive attracts positive, negative attracts negatives. So like your mindset and the beliefs that have been pre-programmed into you, like sometimes you need to think, where did I learn this from, whatever this is, and is it serving me and helping me to evolve into that, say, that dream person that I want to become in the future. So yeah, Mac, brilliant answer yet again. And the next question I like to ask you is, what is the greatest lesson that you have learned from your most painful life experience?
I think for me, sitting in that car one evening, having this breakdown, thinking I'm such a failure, and at a time when I was broke and struggling, my relationship wasn't going right. New kid come and other adversities and challenges that have come up since then has been, there is always a way, there is always an answer. What I've learned is, if you don't know, you can go and ask someone else. You can go and research it. You can always get support to get what you want to get. And when I look at all the success that I've had in any field, it's because I had the right people around me, the right instructors. So in martial arts, Grandmaster Trevor Nichols, who's my instructor, I've succeeded in Taekwondo because of him, right? When I look at my business and I look at my wealth, I've succeeded because of the people around me in that arena, the coaches I've had in those arenas. And so what I've learned is, if you're stuck, that's how far your mind can take you. So get outside of your mind and say, okay, who's not in my mind? Who can support me in this? And let them support you to me. So that's the strategy I've used for years now.
Yeah, look, like you can't read what's on the label from inside the jar. Like so many people are stuck within their own mind trying to figure it out. And look, everything is figure outable,
Mm,
but you need to then take the advice or the suggestions or the support from someone who's already been there. Like me, I've done it for years, Mac. You know, like when I was say making that transition away from the car garage and mechanics, oh my God, man. I'd go and ask every, say, Tom, Dick, and Harry of advice of what they think I should do with my life. And they're sat in pubs, in bars, in restaurants, just not enjoying their lives, like living for the weekends, for instance. And I'm asking these people for the advice of what they
absolutely.
think is best for me. Like, nobody knows your life better than you do. And if you can't see what it is that you really want the answer to, go and find someone that's already achieved what it is that you want. Like, never take advice from someone who hasn't, say, achieved or been to the places where you want to go. Like, so many of us are asking these people for advice, and you don't want to live their life. Like, never take advice from someone who you would not happily trade places with. So, Mac, that is a brilliant answer again, my friend, and thank you, because I know so many people would listen to that one and be like, wow, I need to really start making changes in my life around this situation. So the question that I want to ask you now is, knowing what you know now, what one piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, wow. Great question there, Ryan. For my younger self, one piece of advice is this: you are more powerful than you can imagine. Make a decision, go for it, and you will succeed at whatever you put your mind to. Just go for it. And that's the one piece of advice I'll give to my younger self is don't stop, don't wait, go for it, and you will get there.
Incredible, my friend. Like that is so profound, because like if you think you can or think you can't, like you're gonna be right. Like just go for it, take the action, because what's your other option at the end of the day? You stay stuck somewhere where you don't belong. Like
Yeah.
everything is difficult in life, but you can either have the pain of staying where you are or the pain of progression, of pushing through the barriers to your next best version of yourself, etc. So just go for it. You're going to figure out along the way.
Yes.
So, Mac, as we come to an end, my friend, I just want to say thank you so
Everybody.
much. And I want to finish off on one bonus question that I'd like to ask people now. And I haven't told you about this question at all. And I'd love to know your answer, my friend. So, Mac, what is the best thing about being Mac, about being you? What is the best thing about that?
Great question. The best thing about being me is having total freedom, having a wonderful family who I love, who loves me, having the ability to do what I want, when I want, however much I want, with whom I want to do it. And that's the best. And being able to live my mission, which I shared with you earlier on, to inspire, educate, and empower people to live a life of joy, courage, passion, and purpose. Living my mission every single day, it just makes me who I am, because it really gives me the fulfillment that I was searching for all those years ago in those jobs, which I then quit. I get to live this life, and it's really fulfilling every single day. And for the last 18 years, just been amazing, helping other people, focus on helping other people, and living the life that I want to do.
There we go. That is it, my friends. And Mac, thank you so much for this incredible episode. Like, I've just enjoyed every single moment of it, and I'm sure there's so many people that have come through today. Like, I've seen the comments, and I've seen people come in, and I know that people that have either listened to it now live or people that are going to listen back to it will take so much value from this today, Mac. So I just want to say thank you, my friend.
You're
I appreciate you.
welcome.
And Mac, if anyone's been listening today and they want to say, understand more about you, follow more of your journey, or maybe potentially work with you or read your books, for instance, what's the best way for people to connect with you, Mac?
Hey, just we're on Instagram right here. I'm on all the socials. If you're on Instagram, just drop me a message or check out my bio, check out what I do. Follow if that's the case. And so when I give it some, I'm posting at least a few times a week on good content. If you run a business or you want to create wealth, or you want to be a better person and live your full potential, those kind of tips that I give. So yeah, follow and like and send me a message on the messenger. That's all good.
Mac, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you for your time today, and what an incredible episode. So, Mac, Thank you, my friend. Everybody else, I appreciate you all. And I'm going to see you all on the next episode, people.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Bye.
Mac. Thank you.